All right, fellas. So, I just want to say what's going on. I'm Fred. This is Making the Right Play podcast, guys. This is the first episode. So, we want you, we want to just go over a few things here, introduce everybody here. As you see my boy Greg right there, my boy DT, Derek right there. And I just want to give you a rundown on what we're presenting and the unique skills we're going to be bringing to the podcast atmosphere network. So we're out of Cincinnati, the Queen City,
Yes, sir.
Ohio, as you can see. So here at MTPR, that's just the acronym. We'll be exploring the intersections of sports, community, and entertainment, right? Showing how they align as one. But this podcast is about more than just sports. It's about making the right choices for yourself, your family, your career, etc. Join us as we celebrate selflessness and understanding, uplift our community, future special guest interviews, and shine our light on incredible stories and people from the Queen City. So we want you guys to just please like and subscribe. That's just the most important thing. We want to get our stuff out here. So we're available on X, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We'll be dropping
Facebook.
actually you'll be seeing this. Yep, Facebook. We'll be dropping this episode here probably Sunday night going into Monday night. We don't want to take too much time off with that, okay? So again, my name is Fred. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Born and raised. You've been here my whole life. Played a little bit of sports. Decent ball player down here. And the reason I think making the right play, this was created on my end just because of looking at things in the past, right, and not making the right decisions, right. And what I mean by that is not making it right for me, but also might not making the right decisions for family or friends, etc. And and the biggest thing is that we, now that we're older and the man that I am now and having a family, etc. I think it's just most important to make sure that we're taking our time and making the right decision for not just you, but your loved ones. My grandfather always used to tell me, like, you never want to embarrass your family, because that last name is big. You just never know. You know what I mean? And so again, we want to help the community, the kids, but also, we're going to go over sports. This is going to be a fun space. So
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the guys I got on here, these Derek, they're going to, they'll introduce themselves here, but I'm telling you, if you're not subscribed right now, you will be. You're going to fall in love with the journey. And so when we get there, you guys going to be like, man, I knew it. Once you guys tune in, you're not going to stop. So this is important for us. And so we're just gonna start with G. I'll let G introduce himself, and then we'll let Derek introduce himself, and then we'll get this show going.
Yeah, my name is Greg. I keep it simple, Greg Clark. They know me as G. You know,
Uh-huh.
very big on sports, passionate. Um, been living in Cincinnati, born and raised all my life. Um, West Sider. Very passionate about what I talk about. At times can get some people, rub the wrong way, but it's all good. I'm open to learn and get new information and talk about life, not just sports. Things that go on in our community, things that can uplift the young men, young black males moving forward in their life. Like Fred said, making the right play. You know, um, Making the right play ain't always about in sports. It's about in life because it'd be a lot of wrong plays out here that hold us back. We here to inspire the young black males or males, older, young, to make the right decision. So moving forward with this podcast that Fred put together, and it's an honor to be on here with him. Very knowledgeable guy, and my guy Derek, who will introduce himself next.
Yeah.
Very knowledgeable as well. I learned a lot from both of these guys, but I'm looking forward to it. And please subscribe and hear what we got to say. That's all I got.
Please do.
Hey, I'm Derek, aka the Chosen One. Born and raised here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Lived here pretty much my whole life. I don't say I'm from a certain side of the city because Cincinnati's made up of 52 neighborhoods. Wherever I go, it's 53. So when you with me, I'm my own neighborhood. I can't help who I am. I'm that uncle that's gonna always tell you the truth at the barbecue. So if you don't want to hear the truth, don't come to me.
Mhm. Simple as that.
Sir, that's
So
DT.
That's DT for sure. So yeah, so I'm so happy that you guys got on here. I believe that God aligned us for this, right? This is
Yeah.
stuff we've been doing in the gym for the longest, right? So wife would be like, man, what y'all doing up there for 3 hours? I mean, we work out for an hour and
Yeah.
we talking for two. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is stuff that we've been doing for a while. So this is going as natural as it's gonna be. And I'm just it's a pleasure to have you guys on joining this. And I just can't wait to see where we are, later down the line. You know what I mean? But again, we just falling in love with the journey here and making the right place. So we're just gonna get right into it here, y'all. So we got an elephant in the room. I think everybody knows what's going on today, these last few days. Honestly, these last 48 hours been kind of crazy. I'll say just as a black man. So what we're gonna do here is as you can see here, we're gonna be talking about Sheduer Sanders here. Drafted in the 5th round of Cleveland Browns. I guess I'll start to say it a little bit here. I'm disappointed in in the NFL, just period. I'm disappointed. I understand the humbling experience. I understand that they're not used to us being like this. You know what I mean? I think they love Dion because when Dion was something new back then. You know what I mean? He was the guy where it was like, he was a showstopper, but he also, when he talked, he showed up as well. I know people that talk all the time and don't show up. You know what I mean? He showed up as well, so he was able to pass that down to his sons, and he was able to, he was blessed enough to, have a son that could play Division I ball, play at the highest level. And as you see with Dion going from Jackson State to Colorado, as we know, Colorado was a shit program. And what he was able to do in the 2 years there, I think that's ignored a lot as well. You know what I mean? We talking about Big 12. I don't get, that's other than SEC, of course, and Big 10, big time league before the transition of, of course, UCLA and at USC leaving that league. But Sheduer Sanders, we know, was a first rounder, by far.
Top 3 picks.
Top 3 pick. I think I'm more disappointed in the Giants. I think what killed me, and y'all can say something, and I got you, DT. I think what killed me the biggest was that you took. Okay, I'm fine with Abdul Carter at 3, right? Because Abdul Carter is, I think, a generational player. What he can do, but he gonna have to prove it. You guys already got defensive ends, so it's kind of weird with me right there. But for you guys to trade up and take Dart, in the first round,
and I'm a Dart fan too. That's crazy.
And I know that, and that's what I was gonna say. That stung me, and basically, I just want to see, what do y'all feel about this situation, man? I know it's a lot, man. So we can go ahead, man. Derek, you want to start?
Definitely. So me personally, I'm not surprised about what they're doing. This game, these owners, these GMs are white man. Sheduer comes in. He don't need him. He comes from a family with money. He got his own swagger, his own attitude. So they can't control him like they can do other people. So now I can't control you. So the only way I can get you is to humble you. So bam, we're gonna sit you down. We're gonna make you wait. We're gonna play games with you. We're gonna give you an opportunity in the league, but you're gonna have to work hard for it to prove yourself. When you look at the signing bonus that what he would have got from going in the top 2 picks to now going in the 5th round, it's a big difference in money. Which money is not an issue with him and his family. But don't hold me up. But once again, it's the world that we live in, and honestly, even with the guy that's in office, a lot of people are not hiding who they are. They feel comfortable with this, so they coming out. Hey, this been us for years. We've been hiding behind it. This is who he is. You see it with Colin Kaepernick. They blackballed him. Guess where he at? He's not in the league. He'll never be in the league. And if Sheduer, if he make one mistake, he'll be the same way. But it's these owners and these players got to speak up too. Like you got Ryan Clark speaking up. You got Stephen A. You got guys speaking up, but these players need to let it be known too. Because guess what? That NFL is made up of probably 85% of African American males. They make up the league. We are the league. We don't have ownership though. That's what we lose at. No ownership.
Good point. That's a good point.
So, without the ownership, what can you do? You can't control nothing. You an employee. Go clock in. Like the lady said with LeBron. Dribble and shut up.
Yep.
That's the same thing they doing to Sheduer. They
That's a
want to
fact.
tone him
That's a
down.
fact. That's a good point. That's
They
a
just
good
want to
point.
tone him down. Look at the guy. He say he got his. You see, he got the big old thing on his chain. Legendary. You already coming in here with all this iced out jewels and all that. Like you coming in the NFL already as a rookie with more money than some of those guys that have been there for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we gotta settle you down. Which was is it called humbling? No, that's just gonna anger him and make him more hungry because now he got something to prove to y'all. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
drafted me in the 5th round. That's the
Hmm.
problem. I'm not humble. Ain't no way you gonna humble me. That ain't humbling me. That's just making me finna come out here and prove a point. I'm not humble. I'm hungry. It's a
Mm.
difference. Like he's not coming humble. He's hungry. That ain't work.
Right.
It ain't in his DNA. Like you said, his daddy talked. He backed it up. Y'all know the song Dion said. It must be the money.
Must
Yeah.
be the money.
Nah. Every. I I agree with both of y'all. Everything y'all said because it got to the point where it was disgusting to watch,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of us we can all probably vouch. We are Bengals fans. We watching what we do, but we keeping an eye on him.
That's a fact.
And to sit there and we go into imagine how he feeling. Imagine he getting phone calls from friends, Cam Ward, and other guys. I mean, even some professional quarterbacks I think spoke to him. Are you okay? How everything coming? I understand, that you're probably mad, and just keeping him, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But just to see, and this ain't no knock, because I think every guy deserved to be drafted. Doug Gabriel, what's the guy from Louisville?
Tyler
I mean,
Saul or something.
Tyler
I
Saul,
mean, and I went and I looked at the New Orleans Saints fan on X, how they were so disappointed, and it made me think: did this PR go out not to pick him?
Mm-hmm.
To like what to piggyback what Derek said to try to quote unquote humble him?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna let him sit, and then the part that really got to me was the prank call.
Mm.
The prank call. How do you get access to a cell phone that only the NFL teams got the number for? That's
Mm-hmm.
fishy. They got a cell phone. You see a lot of them guys get drafted, they have two cell phones. They have one and one with it. You gotta have so
Yeah.
a certain area code to come through.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the New Orleans Saints area code. They said it's New Orleans. And we never saw that, man. But a lot of experiments happened to us first. And
Mm-hmm.
that bothered me. But like Derek said, and like you said, it's gonna make him hungry. He been
Mm-hmm.
hungry. I think it's gonna make him greedy. Because we get past hungry. Now I'm greedy. Because it just is wrong. I never saw nothing like it. But I do remember what the Texans owner, I think his name was I forgot his name, Mick something. He said it's like you letting the inmates run the NFL. I don't
Mm.
know if you guys remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that. I
So
remember that.
let's go ahead and teach him a lesson before he even come into our business. So now you need to be on the narrow. Then I did some research as a fourth rounder. With you look at Cleveland, they got Flacco. He's gonna be the starter. Gabriel, and there's somebody else there.
Kenny Pickett.
Kenny
Pickett.
Pickett. But they don't have a starter. They said the job is up. You got to compete for the job. The job is
Okay,
open.
you coming in as a fourth. You can get cut at any time.
Right. He came in as a 5th rounder.
Fifth rounder. Yeah.
Fifth rounder as the fourth quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But like Derek,
And Deshaun Watson. So it's five. Deshaun
yeah,
Watson is
Yeah,
still
he
with the
rehabbing
Browns.
off that injury though. He ain't gonna be
Right.
ready. But
but
this
it's
the
just
thing about it. Sheduer, man, and I hope and pray to God that it work out for him. Cause the kid, he showed it on film. He went down there. He never destroyed this offensive line. How he played behind a bad offensive line
Yep.
in Colorado. I ain't talk
Mm-hmm.
down on you. I still go out and buy you boys gifts and everything. Just y'all my lineman. So
Right.
he let you know it ain't just me. It's us. But here it is. You paint. Oh, I'm too arrogant. I'm this. I'm this and that. I am who I am. Like the kid deserve a shot.
Yep.
I
That's
mean,
a
he
fact.
earned the shot. I mean, I
You
don't
say
care
it
his
did?
daddy or anything like that. It's not given to him. It's not. And when they say greed, I heard Greg he used a reference as he's past hungry, he's greedy. If anybody know about greedy, it's Greg.
Yeah, that's why I know that feeling. No, you're absolutely right.
No, you're right.
You're absolutely right. I am
But,
greedy.
but
I'm
let me
greedy
say
for
this though.
success. Go
Agrees,
ahead, Fred.
and not to cut you off, G. Uh, this is a guy I've never been too fond of, Mel Kiper. Right. Today,
He went
I'm
in.
a Mel Kiper fan.
Yeah. And
Mel
oh,
Kiper went at it with Louis Riddick. I mean, he said, listen, the NFL has been horrible evaluating quarterbacks for the last 30 years. He's like, I can show you right now. You know, he was like, the kid has no off the field issues. He was my number one quarterback coming off. You could tell he was disgusted. And he couldn't hold back no more once he got drafted. You know what I mean? Because you know how Mel Kiper,
oh
he
yeah,
gets in
because it's
depth.
political. It's political.
It's political. He gets very in depth when you know when anybody gets picked. You know, this is his job. Him, McShay, this is what
Yeah.
they do all year round. 12 months after year. They're you know, right now, once the draft ends, we back in the trenches. You know what I mean? Figuring
Oh
out what's
yeah,
going
doing
on next.
evaluations. Yes. Yes.
They try to bring up excuses of what? Oh, next year quarterback class gonna be better. That's why we're not.
Oh,
Listen. Even with next year, I looked at the
ain't
list.
nobody better than Sheduer.
Exactly.
What, Carson Beck?
Archie Man. Listen, Archie Man. I mean, little Arch. He might end up. You know, he got to play a full season for me. You can't just put him in the red zone and run the ball. You know, I see that he was an athlete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He looked like he's a good football player. Looked like actually a great teammate. I don't know. You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that because I know Quinn Ewers was still in the you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way that and one thing I also wanted to not to get off a subject, but Sheduer, his faith, right? He was brought up correct.
Yeah.
It's no reason to stress, right? Because I
Mm-mm.
know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. Just like he told him, if you guys not trying to change the format, if we're not trying to have a winning culture, don't draft me. I looked at a bunch of teams past this man over. So what I'm saying is, it's just like I told my wife. I said it's like a job interview. I'm going to sell myself. I'm going to show you why I'm an asset to your program, to your company, and what I can do for y'all and what you can do for me.
Exactly.
Why is that? Why you know like Ken Ward was very confident. He
Yeah.
said, Tennessee, y'all gonna draft me.
Oh, I got a question, Fred. Not to
Yeah.
cut you off.
Okay.
If Cam Ward daddy name was, if his name was Cam Sanders, would he got drafted?
Mm.
He would have got drafted, but would have been the 5th round. Let's swap.
Everybody, it would listen. I'm gonna tell you why. Because this was towards Dion.
We know
You
this. Yeah,
see what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
Cam, listen.
yeah.
Why was Cam's story? Well, think about it though. Why was Cam's story? We understand it because. And another thing, Derek, you brought up Trump, right? What Trump? What he tweet yesterday before the draft started?
I
He
heard he
said,
tweeted something about Sanders.
I can't believe his dad was a great player. I can't believe NFL owners haven't picked up Sheduer yet, right?
Yeah.
I think I can't rock with him at all, right? That's probably the first time I ever agreed with him on anything, bro. You see what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. Like, that's the first thing I agreed with him on anything.
Look at it. Derek got a little agitated when you said that.
Yeah, I know.
You see he lift up?
Yeah,
you see lift up?
But what I'm saying is that if this is a guy I wouldn't take advice. I'll take advice from an ant before I take some advice from this guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
100 million times, but trying to save the country. You know, that's a whole different story. We'll be going towards to the left right there. But it's a great question. Great question, G. Great question.
I just thought that. Okay, what's the difference between Tim Tebow losing and saying, I'm gonna put everything into it. I promise I won't lose this. I'm gonna work hard. I ain't hear Sheduer say nothing disrespectful. He's coming as a leader. You getting a leader. The way I'm talking is a leader. I'm commanding the huddle. You know John Gruden be having a show that he showed Jackson Dart. What's the guy name from Old State? Will
Howard.
How to be a leader in the huddle.
Mm-hmm.
He was showing them how to do that. Sheduer shows you on the podium in front of franchises. This is what I'm coming in with. I thought that's what you would want.
Right.
I don't gotta teach that, so that put him ahead. But it's funny. The funny part. His tutor was Tom Brady. His tutor's Tom Brady. And I watched
That's why I
Vegas
was
go
thinking
past and go
Vegas.
past and go past. I mean, how old is Geno? 35?
You 35?
So you won't have him as a backup? I know his history, injury history in Seattle. That's one of the reasons why he in Vegas. See, people don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So just in case, why not get my little protege? Oh, you got the memo too, Tom. You got the memo too, huh? You the GM. Now, how I look if you giving my son all a game, and then when you got an opportunity to get him 4 times,
You don't draft him. And then
block. Guess what? Yeah.
Milroy. You take Milroy.
No, that was Seattle. I'm talking about the Raiders, Vegas.
Oh, the
I'm
Raiders. Yeah.
in Vegas.
Right. Okay.
But guess what I'm gonna do on my phone? Block.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a list. Because y'all made it personal. Y'all made it personal. This is about, can my son throw? He checked boxes. Jim not getting drafted is personal. You got the power to be like, he's nice. So you ain't do it. Oh, I got you. What Ho said when he gave his uncle that tape, see was he gonna bob his head? He's on the list. He ain't bobbing. Oh, you on the list. You on the list. It's personal. It's personal because I got everything you want. Probably not the right shade, but if Carson Beck was this, he would have came out and draft. I'm gonna say that. It's a reason why he went to Miami. He wasn't good enough. If he played like Sheduer Sanders, Georgia would be the national champ.
That's a fact.
If Sheduer was in Georgia, Georgia would be the national champ. With that defense, Jalen Monroe, y'all would have been playing Old State for the championship. Fact. If he's in Alabama. If Sheduer in Alabama. If Sheduer in Oregon, they probably beat Ohio State even worse. He's that good. Accurate. And then that's another thing. As a quarterback, we were talking about the offensive line in Colorado. He never threw him under the bus. Remind me of some dude, well, we know him, Joe Burrow, but if I can make those throws now, imagine what I'll make in the NFL. I'm used to pressure. I'm used to getting hit. I'm used to seeing this DN, a dual quarter coming up. I know I'm about to get hit. I'm going to stay in there another second to throw open a Neighbors, a Lave, a DK Metcalf. That's what I want. He's showing me. But, it is what it is, man. I'm glad he drafted, but the hard part, I said I was going to get his jersey when he get drafted, but it's in Cleveland.
Honestly, I'm a diehard Bengal fan, and I said I'm going to buy a Sheduer jersey just to send a message, and I feel everyone should because he's getting revenue off the jersey.
I'm about to put my call in. I just want to make sure what number he get because he might can't get number 2.
But Tim Couch ain't do nothing. He can wear it too.
Yeah, he can wear it too.
They might take that from me. You're going to get number 6, Baker Mayfield.
No, he might take 5 because, 5th round. Send a message. Every time I look
at
at this, I just think about the round I was drafted.
Jared, you know something, because 5 my favorite numbers. 5 my favorite numbers. That's what's up, Jared. See? Now, I like that. Thank you, boy. I like that.
And that's what I was talking about with Louis Riddick, right? Louis Riddick made a comment. He made a comment, and it slipped past people, and I caught it because I was watching it live, where he told Sheduer kind of like what the white girl said to Brian, kind of like, be quiet and putting the work in.
I did see that.
Louis, we done already put the work in. You hear me? This is why I was projected. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. We have more work to do in the NFL now. You know what I mean? We're in the big boys league. We get it. Everybody does. And there's not a kid. There's not a guy that got drafted. I don't think ever though that doesn't understand they have to put more work in. You know what I mean? Like, right. I don't think I think, if you, and it's probably kids that think they already made it until they, you get out there and realize.
He got a cheat code, Fred. He got a cheat code. His daddy got a gold jacket. His daddy got a couple of rings. And then he know what he came in the hard work.
Right.
Don't get the glitter and all that, the cars. The work I put in got me the car, got me the house. Never being satisfied. So and like you said, his faith,
Mm-hmm.
upbringing through church. Dad don't curse. I ain't heard Sheduer curse. So I'm like, what is it? Like, I guess you don't want your quarterback being that type of cocky or arrogance is the way what they want to call it. Because I remember Cam Newton, he mentioned something that when he went to Carolina, and y'all can look this up, do your research. He said the reason that he was picked first by the owner because he was happy. He said when he went to see him on his pro day, he ain't see a tattoo. Y'all can Google that. Fans watching, you can Google that. I can send it to my guys. I will post it. He said the reason I picked you first when I came to your pro day, I did not see a tattoo.
Mm.
If he had a tattoo,
Hey, that perception.
I wonder if Carolina would have been playing Denver in the Super Bowl. A tattoo would have cost them an opportunity to be canceled. But
Right.
go ahead, Fred.
Now, DT, what was you gonna say?
Oh, no, I was just saying, the perception is everything. The way somebody perceive you play a major part. Even myself,
Mm-hmm.
these tattoos on my arm, sometimes I regret having them because a person can see these tattoos and instantly think something else. Like,
I already
Yeah,
know, Donnie. You got the piece.
yeah. But you know what? And I think I remember I forgot who it was. I was watching an interview with somebody, but I think what's the Dion out of Chicago comedian Dion Cole
Okay.
out of Chicago. He was talking about how he was able to get a TV show once, right? And he said the only reason he was able to host the show was because the daughter, I guess she watched the movie that he was in and said, "Hey, Daddy, man, he pretty funny." And the dad was either the executive producer or the
Yeah.
CEO of the
Yeah.
network that he was on. It's always the little things. It's never the big things. You get what I'm saying? Because especially with men of color, right? I look at for example, Travis Kelsey's son. I mean, brother, Jason Kelsey, right? Travis Kelsey. Travis gets with Taylor Swift. Jason retires. I'm not saying Jason not a bad teammate. I've heard great things about him. UC
Yeah.
guy for sure. So
For sure.
anything
Shaker Heights.
Shaker Heights, we rock with you for sure. But I just saw how his progression of his career in media transpired once he retired,
Yeah.
right? Because we got to remember ESPN let go of some critical guys. Like I found Todd McShay podcast just because I was going through different mock drafts. Just I looked at 3 or 4 or 5 different mock drafts all the way around, just like
Yeah.
just so many pieces was moving.
Right.
So I just wanted to see who was the closest with once that day had started, because I think we all was intrigued by the draft this year, because I think it was a lot of good pieces that were coming out.
Yeah.
But it was a comedian off of Instagram, right? And he said some real. He said he made a joke. He said, "Well, we need to see the interview footage with Sheduer. We need to see," because he said did he walk in there with a do rag on? Was he rolling dice? Like what I'm saying, was he in there smoking weed? Because we gotta like because if this is the stigma that he interviewed bad, or you guys had a bad experience with him. I mean, drop the tapes. I mean, just drop the tapes, because
It
I'm
was
pretty sure
personal.
I could find other guys that y'all did not like. I mean, y'all tried to kill y'all smoked James Pierce, and Atlanta traded up to grab him. Y'all smoked him before the draft. Remember what they were saying about Pierce? He's not a. Remember Tennessee? Tennessee was dogging him. They was dogging. It was like they said they couldn't wait that he couldn't wait for him to leave to declare for the draft. Everybody was able to take a breath of fresh air. They was like, "Whoo, this guy." You know what I mean?
Wow.
And
The
that goes
data
back
check.
to
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
My fault, Fred. My friend. No, go ahead. My fault.
No, I was gonna say, because I was talking about Atlanta was probably my favorite other than the Browns, just because of what they did in the first round with Jalen Walker and bringing in Pierce. I think their defense in the front end got a
Oh
little
no,
better.
yeah, they did. They ate. They ate.
They
They ate.
ate, you know what I mean? Because they got what they really needed. Because
I got
last year, of course, they surprised us with the Michael Penix grab, after paying Kirk Cousins. I mean, what was that contract? What like?
2 years,
That was
like 100 million, 50 million apiece.
$50 million a year. You
And
know
they
what I
trying
mean?
to trade him, but if they trade him, they want the team he go to pick up 20 million, and they just gave him 30. And guess what team was supposed to do that?
Who?
Cleveland.
See?
His best year was with their head coach. He was the offensive coordinator in Minnesota.
Okay, got you. So
So a lot of stuff be tied. That wasn't gonna work. That's why the Sheduer came. If that worked, and we would have got breaking news, Cousins going to Cleveland, I'm willing to bet Sheduer go as a college free agent. I'm willing to do that because it's too many teams that needed a backup. Dallas. I'm gonna tell you one team that should have snatched him, guaranteed. But I knew he would have took his spot. Carolina. He would have took it. No, he would have took it. I don't care what your last 4 game is. I would have took it because what you did was this. It's the most deadliest thing you did. I got my guy who was at South Carolina last year, the country dude.
Leggett.
I got Leggett, and you went and got me T-Mac.
T-Mac.
I got T.J. Sanders from Texas at tight end. I got my slot Allen Thielen. I got Chubbard in the back. Don't play with me with that. Sheduer can't walk in a situation like that. That's a layup. That's a layup. You got to give me stuff like Colorado to build, to make me look a little entertaining. Because the physical is this. He's sharp here. His checks down better than Cam Ward. He called plays better than Cam Ward. Cam only had like 13 plays. Sheduer had an NFL ready. Go look at the offensive coordinator. See, this insight. I follow them. I follow their podcast. When the guy give him his wrist, 40 plays on there. You go here on third down. You call that 3rd and 16. Huh? That you can't coach that. So if you give me that going in, what you'll have to pay me, I'll make 80 million by the time my contract will be up. Because that's what it is. It's certain situations besides Pittsburgh, Cleveland that I'm looking. He could have went home to Dallas. How about that guy? I got one better for you. What about San Francisco? Who behind Brock? Oh, you don't want to take that because Brock up for 60. Nah, I got another one. This the dark horse. What about Miami? Tua get another concussion.
That's who I thought was gonna swing in, and you know what I mean. It made the most sense to me just because Tua is, as the last 2 years, been missing half the season. You know what I mean? Like,
Derek, I had 9 teams, bro. You know, y'all know I'd be like, bro, when you called me, what was I doing? I'm looking at Carter, who we drafted the linebacker. Tendencies. I'm big on that with anything. So I'm looking at, okay. I'm looking at my favorite coach in the NFL is Sean McVay. Sean, the boy known for getting hurt. Quarterback, I love him. He go down, who your backup? So you don't want 2 back there? With your play calling?
Right.
With Puka? With Tutu? And with oh, you know he won't be able to get back in the game. That's too easy. I got a brain. That's like giving me Patrick Mahomes and Andy over again. Think about his play calling. He about the second best play call in the game besides Andy first. Come on, look at it. That's why I say that it is personal. We can't give him an easy slate because we look wrong.
Yep.
He's right, and they don't want his daddy. They don't want him to be right. So it was just disgusting, man.
So let me ask y'all this. I'll start with you. What do we think? I mean, just to the conclusion of Sheduer, right? Where do we, future wise, what do we think is going to happen, like in Cleveland? I mean, or do we think he sticks there, or we think he'll be on another roster by the start of the season?
No, I think Cleveland gonna give him opportunity. Well, I think he's gonna go to Cleveland and earn himself an opportunity because, like I said before, he hungry. He got a point to prove. Everybody counted him out. So y'all passed me up. Now I got a point to prove. So he gonna go in there and work extremely hard. Like you said, he already got the IQ. He's a football player. He been a high school quarterback. He come under his daddy. His daddy know the game, and his daddy is gonna make sure that he don't mess this opportunity up.
Right.
And I think a lot of teams shied away from Sheduer because they scared of what his daddy gonna say. Deion Sanders gonna speak his mind. So if you pin Sheduer on a team and Shedeur is a backup, and he feel Sheduer can perform better than that backup, better than that starter, he's gonna say it. So a lot of people probably didn't want that around because a lot of people can't handle the truth. That's why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah, that's a good
that's all
point.
it come down to. The
What you
dude is
think,
gonna
G?
play.
No, I think Cleveland gonna be it. I just feel sorry for Pittsburgh. I really do because Pittsburgh and he feel like it's a mockery. Y'all needed
Mm-hmm.
a quarterback and you waiting on a 42-year-old when I'm the future. You know, and even if you would have had me as a backup to him, then you go get Will Howard. I gotta see you twice. Do not play me if you need to get in the playoffs. You won't go.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more personal because we looked at Pittsburgh, and I'm gonna say it. You got a black coach that needed a quarterback, and you had a black player quarterback that needed a team. But then once I get picked, you pick Howard. Now, if I was to ask y'all right now or send y'all some tape, what do Howard got over Sheduer besides a loaded team at Ohio State? Because we know we thrashed Michigan if we got Sheduer. It
Mm-hmm.
ain't close.
But the thing,
What like if you give him Jeremiah Abuke, I'm like what we talking about with that defense? What we talking about, man? It's a landslide. So you wait till I get drafted, then you go draft somebody lesser than. Come on, man.
but
So
listen,
Shador looking like, okay, because y'all made it once again, they made it personal. That's personal,
Mm-hmm.
man. Because I got all the attributes, skill, the mind to play this game. You went lesser.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
but
Yeah.
let's just say this though. Mike Tomlin, for one, he don't have no control to draft that man. He's not the owner. He's not the guy that's gonna sign those checks. But this another thing, Fred. You went to college. You played sports, right?
Yeah.
So you on a scholarship, right, Fred? You there on scholarship, right? Guess what? You've been performing like ass. I brought you in here. You's a baller, right? So I'm the coach. I call you into my office. Guess what? I'll show you a picture. It's my wife and my kids over here. You think I'm gonna lose my job for Fred Willis?
Mm-hmm.
No. You think I'm gonna let them go hungry for Fred Willis?
Mm-hmm.
No. Mike Tomlin, bad as he probably wanted to take Sheduer, he can't put his neck out there like that. Because he
You
got
got a
a
point.
job, he got a family that he's got to take care of. And guess
Right.
what? If he did that, just how they did your boy Kaepernick, they'll blackball Mike Tomlin. He won't get a coaching job nowhere
I
else.
got a counter for this. A great one.
He won't get a job nowhere
Derek,
else.
thank you. Thank you, Derek.
Yeah.
I see
Yeah.
this. Go ahead, Derek. Go ahead, Fred.
And I'm gonna say, no, I agree with you, DT. Now, the thing is, the reports that I heard was when I was watching, I think I was watching McShay and them. Now they're inside sources, right? You know, which we hear that a ton, right? We don't know. They could be talking to the goddamn Gatorade, the water boy. You know what I mean? We don't know, but they were saying how Tomlin basically talked to the owner, was saying that he had a say now. You know what I mean? Where who gets drafted? I'm a simple guy. I'm a rational guy. I think we all are on here. 2 + 2 = 4 with me. If it's going to improve my situation, you know what I mean? Like if it's going to improve, because we're talking Mason Rudolph. You know what I mean? Like I mean, you're and then so y'all telling me y'all got that much faith in Aaron Rodgers that y'all willing to wait and pass up? You know what I'm saying? Pass up on, because that's what's really going on. You know what I mean? That's what's really going on. Like I look at the weapons out there. I don't know if they're gonna get rid of George Pickens. That'd be another show for us. I don't think so, because I think him and Metcalf, I think they work well together. Once it gets going, you know what I mean. I think but I think again, this is another place. Pat Freiermuth, Warren in the backfield. This is another place for Sheduer to be successful as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At Calvin Austin. Now we got a guy, because remember last year, I mean, unfortunately it was against us, but that's the most points Pittsburgh scored in years with Russell
Yeah.
Wilson last year, and that
That's
was
what
against.
a
I mean, I'm talking
41.
40. You know what I mean? You put a Sheduer there. This could be a weekly thing. You know what I mean? Because we talking about a better, younger, look like you said, more hungrier, and I mean, I went back and watched Sheduer's footage. I mean, I was watching his work last night just to see, what am I missing? Because let me take out me just liking being a fan of him, right? Let's just take out all of that. Say if we had to go look at all these quarterbacks again,
Yep.
and I looked at Sheduer. It's no way I'm not taking him number one. You know what I mean? And also to go back to like you said, G, about if Sheduer was at Ohio State. I think Will Howard would have been in trouble if Ken Ward said if he didn't stay on that $2 million mark where Miami offered him. Because remember, Ohio State was the first, Ken Ward was supposed to be at Ohio State.
Yep.
We talking about, I mean, we would have been talking about a whole different ball game. Ken Ward probably would have ended up going number one anyway. You know what I mean? Just because of his situation. So I'm not listening. I love, Ken Ward. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I hope you do well. I hope Brian Callahan knows what to do with you. I think Brian Callahan got blessed with that number 9, Joey B. You know what I mean? You was able to get blessed with a guy and go ahead and get you a head coaching job. We found out Will Levis wasn't it. I think we all knew that. That's who I hate to say it. Will Howard kind of remind me of him. You know what I mean? A little bit. You know what I mean? I'm just saying Will Howard might be a little better athlete, but a lot of these guys, other than and like I said, I didn't even hate on Jackson Dart. I was like, I had to go back because when we was talking to Joey B, y'all was giving Joey B a hard time, but I'm like, I'm like, I didn't see because I watched Jason. I'm a sports bettor at times, so I watched a couple games of Ole Miss because I needed them to come through, and I remember the Kentucky game where he was non-existent. You know what I mean? In Kentucky, don't get me wrong, defensively they played a hell of a game. And also I think I don't know if Dart was there the year before, and maybe I'm wrong, but I know Quinshon Junkins was. I know Junkins was for Ohio State, and he had a All-American year at Ole Miss because playing for Lane Kiffin is fun. I mean, you watch them play, but I mean, Lane Kiffin he airing it out, air rate. It's a fun thing to watch, especially in college. You know what I mean? But again, I just hope that my conclusion with Sheduer is where I think Cleveland needs to embrace this. Not only do you get a great player, you get tickets sold. You got Dion in Ohio. Y'all building that new
$2 billion.
Yep, $2 billion stadium. You know what I mean? This is if I'm Cleveland, and I knew the GM because I had read something right before he drafted Sheduer where they were saying like they went out to dinner, everybody loved it. They said they had a great time.
It was orchestrated for this to happen in the NFL. To me, I'm gonna go back to Pittsburgh because Derek he lined me up with something.
You got the rebuttal.
Mm-hmm. Mike Tomlin was in a position, and I think Fred said that they gave him some power.
Mm-hmm.
Where did Rooney Rule come from? The owner of Pittsburgh, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make a difference, bro. Just make a difference with that. That's all I'm saying. Like, and you going with Aaron Rodgers. Your job for real. A lot of people coming for your job in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. I know some Pittsburgh fans that really, bro, they done with you for real. They don't know why you got an extension. But moving forward, you will have somebody like this. This is why I think is going to be you're going to regret this. I really do. And I think Cleveland knows Sheduer going to be the face. I think they do. And him being at a 4th is going to be like I think Derek said, he earned it. He earned this. It wasn't given because they looking at his lifestyle as given. You're spoiled. You grew up in a mansion. You got all these cars. We ain't going to give you nothing. We want to see you bleed. You got to bleed your blood. You got to go through some order to get something. They want to see how hard you work. It's looking too easy. Your daddy always coaching you. See, I can look at it both ways. Now, I'm the Cleveland Browns talking about how I see Sheduer. I plays devil's advocate. So, look at him. His daddy always coaching. Yeah, he going home eating steaks. Nah, nah, we gonna reverse it because you got
Hmm.
to get tried. You gonna
Right.
be miles away from daddy. He in Colorado. He handling that. He got a quarterback of the team. He can't focus on you like he was. That arm around you. He massaging your shoulders, walking down the field before the game. That's love. We're gonna
Hmm.
get you away from your love. We want to see how you is when you stressed out. That's like when we in the gym. Oh, your first one, yeah. But that third or fourth, I gotta see what's up with you. That's when I get to
Hmm.
look like, yeah.
But
So
I
when
think
that number 9 come, it's like, oh man, they want to just see how he is. But he gonna show him. He gonna show him. Go ahead,
yeah,
DC.
I think it's good for the city of Cleveland too because it's
That's
gonna
what I
bring a
said.
lot up there too. He got Nike already behind him, but this guy coming in, Sheduer Sanders into Cleveland, he the biggest thing since LeBron James.
Hmm.
He's that. He can be that for Cleveland. He can be that face.
LB, uh, yeah, that's a different. LB a little different
And, and,
magnitude.
DC, I'm gonna say this. I see what you're saying because of the excitement, right? You know what I
Right.
mean? Because I think we all. I was talking to my uncle. Listen, big time gambler, right? He did probably lost a couple hundred because he thought Sheduer. He was betting on him to go in the first 10. Then he tried to get him again because I thought he was going 33. Right when
Yeah, to
Cleveland had it,
Cleveland.
I said he's
Yeah.
going to 33.
Everybody
Okay,
thought that.
he going 36. Okay, now I'm nervous. You know what I mean? Like I think we all. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can feel it. We ain't talk. I mean, we were sending stuff back and forth, but I think we all felt like that. And so, before you got cut off, Derek, we was talking about Cleveland building that new stadium up there. It makes sense, right? I mean, it makes sense that Sheduer is in here because he really was the best fit. You know what I mean? Cleveland, even in the first round, when they traded up, when they let Travis Hunter go, which I thought Jacksonville, I was applauded by Jacksonville because I said, "Hey, be aggressive. You gonna give up another first round next year? You think you getting it?" I mean, Jacksonville said, "Listen, I'm getting the best player in the NFL draft." This is what Jacksonville is saying. I don't
Yeah.
know about that.
I can't give
We
up
we
all that. I
we
gave up
see
too much.
it gave
Cleveland
up way
won.
too much. I thought I was like Cleveland. If I'm Cleveland, I'm
They
like, God
won.
damn,
I got
that was
something to say
perfect.
about Travis Hunter.
Because I got Mason Graham. I mean, Mason Graham, people were under. I'm like, that might blow up in Jacksonville face later down the
Let's go.
line. You
Oh
know what I
no,
mean? Especially with Myles Garrett up there. I mean, he got the right people around him. You know what I mean? For it to make
and
sense. Later
yes,
down the line. He could be. I know I said I wasn't the biggest Mason Graham fan. The reason I'm saying that because I'm an Ohio State fan. I don't that blue and yellow. Listen. You could be the most. You know what I mean? Charles Woodson. I love Charles Woodson
that's my
when
favorite
he went
college
to the
player.
league. You know what I mean? But when he was out there with that blue and that shit on, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
right,
you know
right.
how it is. So, but this is what I wanted to say too, guys. Before we get off this topic, I wanted to just bring this up and see what y'all say. We can get on to the next topic. But podcast with Dion, he said, "Do you think this had an effect on where he went?" Basically saying he wanted to dictate
Where he played.
where he played.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. You don't have that control. That's another thing. You can't write a check that you can't cash, Dion.
that's the times where you gotta be. You like. I don't like being on the mute button, but I'm
I
smart
agree.
enough to put myself on the mute button. It's called when Dion know recognizing the room. You know, this is your son position situation.
Mm-hmm.
You did it, done it, gold jacket. You got a table there. You know anything you say is gonna make it harder for him.
Mm-hmm.
The confidence always can be, you know what I'm saying, what it is. But behind closed doors, which their conversations are the deepest, you gotta let him know, like, look, I'm here, but I know how I go. I
Yeah.
know how I operate. So
Yep.
what I'm gonna do, be quiet, and whoever, it's a privilege to play in this league. Whoever wants you, we go in there, we're gonna change the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm
Absolutely.
like, oh, we ain't going there. We don't want. Come on, man. I ain't like when the Mannings was doing it. I didn't
Yep.
because it's a privilege. It's people that will never step on the football field. It was nice when this draft over with soon. There's gonna be some college free agents. You know how many people we gonna be like, boy, he ain't get drafted. What? knowing that he should have, and his chances of making it so slim. But we watched him on Saturday. He won Fred money. He won Derek money by bet. You know what I'm saying? They ain't draft him. It's a privilege, man. Wherever you go, you
That's
could be the
right. That's
person
right.
that changed the franchise. And I think with Sheduer, he's that guy because every franchise only starts off good when you got the right quarterback, and they got the right quarterback.
That's right. And I think that aligns to making the right play, right? Where
Exactly.
Dion,
Make the right.
sometimes
Yeah.
it's got a time to shut the hell up. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you
You
got
listening,
him here.
Derek? Derek, you listening? You
Hey,
listening?
because I think we all agree. I think we all agree with Dion is Dion is a lot different than I think our fathers. You know what I mean? My dad was more militant. My dad, like
Mine
I
is too.
tell the story all the time. I had a good game against Wynn Woods. I dropped 28 on a Friday, right? My mom stayed at my game. My dad went to my sister's game. And I remember Saturday morning, I was going out there. I was about to go hoop or go do something. He said, "Man, you played well last night, man." He was like, "You played well." He said, "Hey, check the paper." So I'm like, "Oh, back in the day, we had to go look at the
You
paper at our
able to
stats. We
chat?
like, man, a little write up."
You wasn't in
Bill,
there.
he circled it and said it was Bill Walker, 50 and 25. See what I'm saying? See, he handed it to me like that. Oh, go look at the paper, but he had circled it already. I just want you to know, like it's always more time to put work in.
Yeah.
But my dad, he just wanted that to be built into me to understand. Okay, I'm gonna give you. I'll make sure you got the tools to do it, but this is on you. How far you go, it's gonna be on you.
Right.
And at the end of the day, Dion, as a dad, you 100%, man. You did a great job, brother. Like
Yes, he
I
did.
mean, it ain't a better. You're not a. It's not a better role model than you, man. You being vulnerable, telling us the stories when you was on. Where was he? Going to Kentucky when he was playing for the Reds. When he was talking
Yeah,
about
he was
killing
on his he was
himself,
on his
and
he was on his moped,
he was on his moped, and I mean,
ready to
just
check out.
being vulnerable, letting us know, and then coming from that to what you got going on now, bro. First off, I just want to say, yeah, go ahead, GC, go ahead.
You said it's not another role model better than that.
No,
It's
I'm
a
saying
guy.
like I want to say better than that, but I'm gonna say he's a great role model. That's what we say. He's one of the top role. Who would you say was better? Oh
It
man,
might offend some people, but you got a
There's
guy.
a lot of role models out
You
here,
got
bro.
a guy that
come
come
on,
into the
can we?
NBA
Hey,
at
Nah, go
18
ahead,
years
say his
old with
name. He
expectations
is a great role model. He
that
is.
has his son in there as well.
DT, let
Yes.
me say this. Let me say he is too. But hold on, Greg just put up a post on his page. I think this is the time to. I remember what he just LeVar Ball, LeBron James, Deion Sanders. I mean, bro,
Tiger
that was
Woods day.
if it wasn't perfect timing, I don't know what it was. Who else was it? G? Who was
Tiger
it for?
Woods father.
Tiger Woods' father.
Serena Williams and they
Serena
daddy.
Williams' daddy. You know what I mean? Remember when he interrupted that interview? Those parts were so powerful because they do turn him into a villain.
But see, I'm glad you said it. Go ahead, Fred. Cook, because you a father. Cook.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, listen, for mine, I'm down for mine. You know what I mean? Like off rip, I'm down for mine. But I tell mine the same way. If somebody before they get out my car in the morning, you treat people good. But if somebody ain't treating you good, you handle it. Cheryl Miller, I was watching an interview with Reggie Miller, Cheryl Miller last night, and Cheryl Miller said some of the coldest stuff. Her dad was in the Navy or in the Army,
Yeah, he was a Navy SEAL.
Marines, Navy. Okay, he said he told Cheryl, "Oh, we don't start them, we finish them."
There you go.
Do you understand? Like we don't start them. That's just what it is. So at the end of the day, that's another father. And that's a whole another story right there. That's another dad that as you see, probably one of the greatest girl ball players ever, and Reggie Miller, one of the best shooters ever in the NBA.
Yeah.
And so when you have that type of structure, and you bring that to the table. What Dion has brought, what LeBron has brought, what Serena Williams' dad has brought, the structure that they have brought, this is the reason why we've been able to see the success, from the younger ones. Because even with, like I said, with LeVar Ball, there was structure there. Look how they all have something in common. You know what I mean? Some people would call them assholes, right? You know what I mean? He'd be like, "Man, Daddy, I hate you, man, I hate you." Well, those were the dads right there, man. I demanded a lot because I know their potential. I know what you can do. I can't let you know what you can do. I only can take you through that. I got to take you through the mud to get you where you got to get.
I want to piggyback off that. And this is why I'm glad we got this podcast, because when y'all be making good points, I'll be thinking that I hear everything y'all say. And I'll just be going into these little moments or my thoughts. And I'm glad we got this podcast to put it out. You were saying that, having those fathers around. I'll be thinking like, well, is it the fact that y'all get them hell because y'all can take advantage of these kids? Because it's a protector there. There's somebody that can orchestrate, that can guide that career, not Nike, Phil Knight, not nobody else. I'm going to go back even with LeBron. Can nobody really navigate Bron? Can nobody navigate Serena? You can't navigate Sheduer. You couldn't navigate Ken Griffey Jr. You couldn't navigate Mike. Daddies was there. Place, because where we from, it was a lot of missed. No fathers there. So when your child, go look at Amari Stoudemire, how he was getting paid McDonald's, but his AAU coach was getting $2,500 to go to these tournaments all around Florida, flying into Texas, giving him some Jordan. But his AAU coach got $3,500. Little Fred, he gonna go to AAU. Big Fred gonna be there with him. Look at BJ. Big B. Mama there, daddy's there. That's that force field right there. I gotta go through him to get to him. So I can't finagle him. See, that's all that plays a part of what's going on now. That dang, what if Sheduer ain't have no daddy? We could come in and tell his mama anything. Do y'all know how the game goes? So we gotta use other things, come up with other things to get to him. And now I'm gonna go switch to Cam Ward. Cam Ward was a #1 pick. I ain't never heard a #1 pick not being talked about this less. They talked about Sheduer. See where I know, that's why I know it's personal. Because the camera. And what's that college guy on Fox? Black. No, the white guy. His name Black. He be on Fox.
Yeah.
He went in too. He went in for Sheduer. But that's what he knew they was bothering them. Sheduer. What about Cam Ward? He #1. I forgot, literally forgot about him.
But Sheduer bigger. He clickbait. That's clickbait. That's get my views. That's revenue.
Yeah.
Gee, we talked about it. Remember I said, DT, think about it. Are we watching? Now, don't get me wrong. Listen, G, he watching today, right? Because we tied into what's going on with the Bengals. You know what I mean? So we're like, round 5, 6, 7. A lot of people already clocked out of this. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is today, it was still eyes. I'm pretty sure if we checked the viewership for the day before Sheduer got picked,
it was still
I'm pretty
high.
sure it was as high as it was Thursday night. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
everybody is waiting. I even looked at that white lady that said his name. I seen her smirk. I said, "Oh, it's about to be Sheduer," because I could tell you could tell she was like, "Oh, about time." You know what I mean? Like not even saying that she do it, but she just, I could just tell. And so, and that just and G, kind of go piggyback on what you said. Nobody remember the first or second pick in the NBA draft. We was waiting till, come on, like Bronny was talked about. I'm just saying. I remember watching the draft. I was on my phone. I'm like,
I don't know.
I know one of them played for Atlanta, and I know the other one played for Washington. Washington ain't come on TV at all this year. We talking about Bronny G League games more than we talking about guys that played a whole NBA season, right? So, again, when we're talking about powerful fathers, these white folks been doing it for years.
Yeah.
When white people watch this video, listen, I'm fine because I'm trying to. This podcast is supposed to create dialogue, right? We're gonna have people that agree with us and don't. You know what I mean? That is fine. I'm willing to see any other perspective. You can bring it to me. Like they try to bring a perspective of, how NILs, NFL is having a problem with the NIL, right? Because I'll stay 4 years in college now because I'm making 12 million. I'm making 6-7 million. You know
16.
what I mean? Like I can go ahead and finish my degree. And if I don't want to, you know, for example, kid, I don't know if y'all remember from North Carolina, Armando Baycott, the big center. Remember, he stayed 5 years.
Yeah.
Big Baycott he made some good NIL money. Not only he was in business school in North Carolina, right? His roommate, his best friend, his dad owned hotels. The friend said, "Hey, listen,
Invest.
come invest with us." Now he got his own hotel. You know, but Baycott is a part owner or owner of a hotel, and they working on other ones, right? What I'm saying is that the dream used to be, let me hurry up, get through college, so I can get to the league and make this money, because we were getting paid under the table. Listen, that Miami U class, that class that they had Miami for, that football class, the boys was getting paid. Them killers that came through that college. Come on, dog. Like you could have had the best recruiter in the world. How many Pro Bowlers, Hall of Famers was on that?
Yeah. They
Remember
the defense.
with Greg Olsen in them, right? That was Greg Olsen and
they go further than that. No, I'm gonna start with Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, them. The Rock was the defensive end.
Warren Sapp.
Then a couple of more years, they fell off. A couple more years came. That's when Andre Johnson, Ken Dorsey, Willis McGahee, Quentin Portis, Vince Wilford,
Sean Taylor. Mm-hmm.
Taylor? What's the guy name? Winslow. I mean, they kept it, and before that team, it was Adrian James now.
Yep, crazy.
Bubba Frank. That was like a 10-year run of talent.
Because Shockey was the year. I mean, with Shockey,
they was tight end university. Winslow, Shockey, Bubba Franks, McMichael. There was somebody else I'm probably missing too. But
Olsen, yeah, but all them guys.
Man, you know they getting paid.
But just to kind of, like I said, it's a difference now. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I go on 24/7 Sports, man. Shout out to y'all. I go in there and watch the portal every day. You know what I mean? I look at the portal, football and basketball. You know what I mean? I looked at it increased from 10. Now we at like 2,500 because the kids are looking for the best deal possible. And also, I think with the NFL is that you get a guy like Sheduer that not only made great money, not only turned the program around, but I don't really need an agent because my dad, you know what I mean?
They blame that too, Fred.
I can hire a lawyer. Lawyer can go over my contract if it makes sense to us. I mean, that's I forgot who did that. But I forgot who told that story. But he said he paid his. I don't know if it was Ray Allen. I don't know who it was, but they basically said they got an agent.
Did it with his mama.
Yeah, did it with his mama. Kyrie did it with his stepmama. You know what I mean? I mean, Shea Gillis Alexander just fired his agent, and you know what I mean. He handling his own business, his own. You know what I mean? Because now I can just pay a lawyer $3,000 to go over my contract. If it makes sense, then we gonna do it. If it doesn't, we just not gonna do it. You know what I mean? Because we're tired of being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And so what I'm saying is it's not that sense of urgency no more. Where you got that, you know, like when OJ, you know, when I remember 07. You know, and again, like I said, I know people were getting paid under the table. I know this has been happening for years. But now that you can get these endorsements, now that you can, you know, I'm looking at like a Darren Peterson. Of course, Darren, you're going to have to leave after 1 year. You're gone. You're already, I mean, if you could go to the league right now, you would be in the league right now. You know, you'll be in the draft next year coming up. I mean, the summer. But, I mean, he would be gone. So, this just to say, like, I think this has opened a lot of people's eyes. I think that you know, we're gonna be talking about this for some months. You know what I mean? Like through the football season, through everything. But I really want to get on to what we all agree with, who we all are fans of, the Bengals draft. We're gonna start with y'all. I want a grade, and so we're gonna do a grade course from an A to F. We can do the 8, you know, B minus, C minus, whatever. I just want to see how y'all felt, how y'all feel like we did this year. I got the and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read out the names here first, and then I'm gonna let G go. The DT, you can go. This is what we have so far. We had Shamar Stewart, defensive end, Texas A&M, first round. Demetrius Knight, linebacker, South Carolina, second round. Dylan Fairchild, Georgia, third round guard. Barrett Carter, Clemson. I think inside linebacker, fourth round. Is that right?
Yeah, he linebacker.
Linebacker, Jalen Rivers, tackle.
He could play two positions. He can play guard.
Fifth round, right? Fifth round, I think. Fifth round. And then we had the last person I saw was Taj Brooks, Texas Tech running back.
That was our last pick.
We didn't
have him in the 7th round.
So okay, DT, let's just start with you then, DT. And then we go to G. All right. DT, what you thinking? A grade and this. I mean, how this? What you thought we did this year?
So honestly, I'm gonna get a grade of B, and the reason is because we went at positions we needed. We needed a guy coming off the edge, even though the guy didn't finish, his sack numbers weren't high. He was always around the quarterback. He brings pressure. So if you got Trey coming off of one side and he's coming off another, you got to run into one of us. So I think that was needed. Then you went and got a linebacker who's been, COVID, so he played a extended career college season. But that just let me know you asked to get out of here, so I got to bring some backers in. So I feel that's a solid pick as well. And I feel like these guys coming in ready they hungry. And Fairchild, everybody know we needed a guard. With Volson, and then with Volson over at left guard, and then your other guy, what's the Kappa, Karras giving up all those plays over there. You needed some material help there on the line. So that's good. And then you get the running back just for more depth. The linebacker too is just another depth position as well. I still feel we got to find a safety somewhere along college free agent. Yep. I mean, we got to get a safety in here, and I think once you get that safety in there, and I'm believing in Golden, the young players relate to him. He's able to coach them up and develop them. So I'm believing in this whole process that we just went through. We just basically spent our whole draft, majority of defense. We only had 6 picks, so but we went with the defensive guys, and I feel like we got guys, especially that can come in and play right now today. Like it ain't gonna take long for Stewart to get up and go. He's ready to go. He can. He's quick off the ball. He can get there. He just got to finish out the plays, make the plays, because you're in the backfield. So you got a good first step. You're able to get there, and like I said, with Trey on the other side, let's go. We brought BJ Hill back, and we got Jenkins in there too in the middle. So if you're getting that push up the middle as well, with those guys coming off the edge, that's going to help everybody. That's going to help your safeties, your DBs, That's going to help a lot. And a lot of people got to understand, and they blame our linebackers. They call our linebackers Pratt and Logan Wilson trash. But you got to understand that the scheme that we played, we only played with majority 2 backers, and those guys was out there 90% of the snaps. I'm going to miss a play. I'm tired. But overall, I'm giving the grade a B. And I think it was a solid draft overall. I know some people's not happy, guys have been texting back and forth. They done with the Bengals. they fed up, It's insane. But, there's a lot of people around here like that. Like, even when the guy got drafted, Stewart, they instantly start writing him off as a bust because his sack numbers was low. Oh, here go Miles Murphy 2.0. No, you got to look at this guy tape. The guy's getting off the ball. He's getting there. He's getting hurried. He's just got to do a better job of tackling, bringing people down. And that's something that can be worked on when you get there. Your technique, break down. When you get there, break down. That's it. But he coming in and he got speed was okay. I think it was a 4.5 something on this 40, which that ain't bad. I mean, but even with that, as a defensive end, you don't have to be fast. If you got moves and you play with your hands, that can play a whole lot. Get him off lane. Like, listen, you see Michael Parsons spin moves, all this and that. Some guys is just powerful, but that guy, he's quick. Yep. He's quick. He can turn his hips, everything. So I think a lot of people in for a rude awakening. This is me, Derek Turner, the chosen one, going on record here. I guarantee you he have at least 6 sacks this season. At least 6. I'm going on record saying that.
At least 6. Okay. What you think, G? Give me a grade first, and then because I know you're gonna get that in depth. So give me a grade first, and then kind of just tell us what you thinking.
I give it a C+ on the fact that let me get this out the way. I like the players. but I thought that we could have got better rated players at those spots, and I hope um Al and Zach know something that we don't know. I don't know. Stewart, he got a great motor. The first pick got a great motor. He be right there. He's just missing. I like his intensity. I like that he don't give up on plays. And to be 267 and run a 4.5, I think that's good speed for a DN. Um, the second pick, it was funny because I was watching his film early in the morning. I was just looking at sleepers and I already know watching him. He's a thumper. He's fast, and coverage is it's okay. But for as like I can see like him meeting Derrick Henry. That's gonna be a car collision. I can see that. But I went a little more in depth. He's a little bit injury prone because he played violent. I would like to see him on the field more because I could see his upskill. Even though he's 25 years old, some people looked at that as like, ugh, but I like what he brings. And I'm a huge, I ain't gonna say I'm a huge, but I really liked the third pick, the guard Fairchild.
Yeah,
Um,
I like Fairchild too.
he even admitted I need to be better with the run block. He's a huge pass blocker. He like protection, but he said that like running counters and traps, sometimes you got to get pulled, and he said he need to be better at that. But looking at his tape, he like bulldozing. He like bulldozing, and I like that pick. And the fourth pick was the offensive lineman, if I ain't mistaken. Was that the fourth? Who's
The
the
No, he was
fourth
a
pick was
linebacker. He
the
was a linebacker.
linebacker. The fourth pick was
Bruce?
Barrett Carter, Clemson, the
Now,
linebacker.
Derek Carter, he give me Raekwon Smith vibes in Baltimore. If he put it together, he's like a tackling machine. I like them two together. This Carter and the guy from South Carolina. If they can bring it together and Logan, that'll be nice. And one thing that Al said, I think Derek said it too. The linebackers playing 90% of the plays, you are going to get tired.
Mm-hmm.
And Lou didn't do a lot of subbing. That's why we used to go back and forth in the gym. Why such and such ain't playing? Why he ain't getting in? He went and got guys that he trusted, like Von Bell. Von Bell was a step behind.
Yep.
He didn't trust his young guys. So with Al looking for keeping bodies in there fresh that'll keep our defense and his
Fresh.
scheme live at
Mm-hmm.
all times. It won't be like Derek said, down and stuff like that.
Yeah, one about a
So
step
I like
behind.
I like that method moving forward because playing Baltimore, Pittsburgh, I still think we got the best division.
Mm-hmm. How far?
And like I said, Carter can be somebody that can just bring some habit. And I think off top, to be honest, he might come in and be day one. I see day one starter. I really do. I see both of them day one starters with Logan.
With
I
Logan.
do. I just see it. But we got the guy from Philadelphia, Burks. We got a free agent, so I don't know they're gonna battle that out. But I think Zach and them when it got them guys to start. They was aggressive getting them. And I felt a little way because I'm, Xavier Watt and I'm with Derek. I wanted the safety too. But that
Yeah.
offensive lineman we got with the fifth, if you go back and look, Miami had one of the best offensive lines. And he was one of the main reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And we kicked him inside like Philadelphia did with the one guy. What's his name? Becton.
Yeah, Becton. Yeah.
Becton just got a big bag because if you go look at Saquon's biggest runs, it was behind Becton.
That's a
Becton
fact.
was a mismatch. Because when you play that guard, you get a lot of stuff in the secondary zone blocking. He was taking on little linebackers. 336. So if we could steal that formula with the Chase Brown and you know, sky's the limit. Who was that now? Was Todd Brooks?
Yeah, so we got you was just talking about Jalen Rivers,
Yeah,
tackle from
Rivers,
Miami,
right?
and
Yeah, he was.
we had Taj Brooks from Texas Tech.
Todd Brooks. I'm gonna say it now. He just pushed Moss out the door.
Yeah,
Moss has
Moss,
reworked his contract.
he reworked his contract, gave back $1 million, but we about to take the other $1 million when we cut. Because
Yeah,
that was a security. I really think the Bengals are not going to carry 4 running backs.
but they got
right.
more. They got about 6 running backs on the roster right now. But the thing
Is Chris Evans? Is Evans still on the
you
roster?
still got Evans on the
A lot
team.
of some people about to get gone.
You got Tavon Williams still on the team. So some
Yeah,
of those
they.
guys make the special team. So you drafting this guy here, it's a depth piece. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
No, he's not a depth guy. He's
No, he the all-time leader rusher at his school.
he gonna eat.
Yeah, he gonna play. He gonna
He
play.
gonna play.
And
He
then,
gonna
and then
play.
you got to remember we brought Samaji back. You know, Samaji
I got you
Piran.
too.
You know what I mean? So Piran back, who Joe trusts. You see what I'm saying? Like that, we got to talk about
Exactly.
who Joe trusts. And then our main guy
Chase Brown.
Wow.
Chase Brown, who I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
if he started at the beginning of the year, we would have had
He would have a stat.
three Pro Bowlers. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You know, just because if you look at his numbers to Joe Mixon numbers, we talking about less games too. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because Joe started off high too, but and that's another thing. You know, I'm not, I don't want to compare those guys yet, just because
Right.
Joe was there. But I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna go over my take. I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B. The reason why, I love what Michael Parsons said when he brought up Danielle Hunter, when he brought up himself. Danielle, he came out with 4.5 sacks his last year. You know what I mean? Like, first off, Shamar was just seeing Shamar interact with Joe. You know what I mean? Just the type of guy that he would. I'm like, first off, he's gonna be a great locker room guy. I think he's gonna be great for the city. My only problem with that is that the piece that I sent y'all where Shamar say I ain't even have a meeting with the Bengals. I ain't even come up here.
That was fake news. Yeah, that was fake news. Because
that was
even Al said that they met him at the Senior Bowl and all that. Al Golden.
That's what I was gonna say. Because Al, I was like, I watched the interview that either UDT or G put into the group chat, and I was like, it seemed like they was very, formidable about that pick.
Right? Yeah, they was.
You know what I mean?
He was the one from the jump.
But the character, because I'm big on character. I think we talk about character all the time.
And the Bengals are too. They draft captains. That guy was the captain of the team.
Exactly. And the way he was embracing everybody that was getting drafted. Remember, he was there. He still was, you know what I mean? He was clapping everybody's hands. He was, to me, he seemed like he's a great fit. So I love him. I think my favorite was the guard from Georgia. Bringing a big fella in that's familiar with Mims, right? We're huge now. You know what I mean? Like we're huge. Like we're huge.
Right.
So when I'm thinking about this year, where I'm like, not only do these guys, a few of them already have chemistry, but I think that the reason we went with the older guy, the 25-year-old, right, that the linebacker, these guys are they're already a little bit more mature to learn from other people. You get what I'm saying? Like, you get that younger guy. We always think we know more than we do until we got to sit our ass down and learn. You know what I'm saying? And that's why when you bring these live, what I think that we did was that we wanted to bring in people like you said, G, like you said, DT, that can play right away. I think both linebackers can play right away. I think Brooke. I think we got a high, low risk, high reward with Brooks, especially where we got him at. Because it was the running back. It was so running back heavy. Yeah. Not to get off of the Bengals, but what Ohio State did in the draft. You know what I mean? Like that first round was. I mean, it was incredible. I mean, Emeka Egbuka. I mean, when he went him being the first one off the board for Ohio State. I was shocked, and not again, like I said, I'm not because I think he's a hell of a wide receiver.
Yes, he is.
I thought he would have went to the Rams because he's one of those guys where he's a young wide receiver. He's a young guy, but He's reliable. He runs those routes, like that quarterbacks love. That when they trust you a little early, like
He in that
Emeka's
slot.
one of those guys. You know what I'm
He's
saying?
a
So
big slot receiver. He's like a new
big,
Keenan Allen.
exactly. Great.
He's
That's
like
a
a
great
new.
comparison.
He's like a new Keenan Allen.
So just listen to what Zach said. Listening to what Al said. I would go. I trust. I'm gonna trust what they did this year. Also, like you said with Xavier Watts, it's something else going on. You know what I mean? Like it's something. It's something that we don't know, because if this my guy, like, you know what I mean? I just coached him. Like it's the same way with people kept bringing up Will Howard. I mean Will Johnson
Yeah,
for Michigan.
he got them
Why did he
low
skip out?
knee injuries. His knees.
Okay, I said this. I said in the comments. I said, why Harbaugh pass up on him? That was his guy. Why the short? You get what I'm saying? Like what?
Low
Not saying that
reward. They know something about his medical now. But
that's
what
what
you
I'm.
saying about Watt? That dude raised like, man. But do we just say, okay, we gonna rock with Stone. We're gonna be loyal to Stone. And I'm gonna tell you
Stone,
another dark horse. Maybe
now
they gonna
Stone,
play Anthony. Anthony a little more, 33.
yeah, Stone's gone.
Anthony, I
Cap
think
Cowboys.
Anthony. I thought that too, and I'm not going. I'm not. I know we didn't hear anything, a radar or rumor, but I know Jalen Ramsey is still out there, and
Yeah,
G
he's
and
open.
G. What you talking about? If the Bengals have Golden was like, hey, you know what, Jalen, why don't we kind of revive, add a couple years on? Let's move you to safety,
Oh
like you
yeah,
said,
yeah, for sure.
like Rod Wilson. Let's move him to safety, because I think I still got faith in Dax Hill.
No, I think that's gonna be okay.
I
No,
think
that's
Dax
gonna
is
be
going to be
okay.
okay. And I
Yeah.
think DJ Turner showed us a little bit of something before he
Before he
got
got
hurt.
hurt. Yeah, that's my little cousin.
DJ was coming around, not just using the speed, but now starting to use the,
Press, yeah, get up
use what
on
he
you.
knows,
Yeah.
his ability. So, that, like you said, in that backfield, I'm actually excited. I'm excited. That's why I gave him a B, because I'm like, we got what we needed. I wish we could have got the safety. Our boy, our boy from South Carolina was hanging around. He was hanging around, man.
Seattle said, "Get over here."
Yeah, which was
That's the thing.
great
I be
pickup.
wanting the Bengals to be aggressive,
Mm-hmm.
aggressive. Like if I want, I'm gonna go get him. But
Go get your guy. Go get your
I just
guy. Mm-hmm.
like I said, I'm not saying these guys that we got are trash or nothing like that. I think they're good players. It's just the fact that I'm guilty of it too. We look at guys with these ratings, and we all watched a lot of football to know, like, look, because them ratings, they don't mean it's gonna perform in the pro.
Right.
Sometimes it be them diamonds in the rough. You be like, man, who dude cold? Like, and hopefully that's what it was. Like, we didn't go reach. We got what we needed and what we wanted, who we felt could run the system that we got.
Right. That's
You
right.
know, so if that's the case, listen, I'll be the first one to come on here and be like, y'all was wrong. I want to Trey Hendricks thing. When he came from the Saints, I said, oh, he gonna give us like 5, 6 sacks. My boy Flip, he said, gee, he used to get Tom Brady hell when he was with Tampa. I said, bro,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And now, hey, Hendricks, my bad, bro. I was wrong. And if I'm wrong, listen, I'm wrong.
I'm willing to admit it. Yeah. For sure. For sure. So, um, I get a Bengals. We're looking at, we're gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? We're gonna slide into this. Hopefully we ain't done. What we doing, but if so, that's fine. We again, and then also my boy Malachi Starks, who I was big high on. I hated he went to Baltimore. That kind of, I'm like, God damn it. Like, I mean, Wiggins. I mean, that secondary is. I mean, that
Well,
secondary
okay,
is
if they okay,
legit.
but what did we do to that secondary?
We smacked. Oh, we
I
smoked
know
them
Jamar had 400 some yards in 2
for
games.
sure.
I'm
For
just
sure.
telling you. Hey,
Yeah, for
Derek,
sure. And
and
they
one
had to
more.
get better. That's why you bring a guy. That's why you bring a pit, another pit in like
Oh, he going no,
You know,
he going to have to get it. He going no, no,
yeah,
no, no, no. It's enough to go around. He got to
somebody
get a
smarter.
plate. He got to get a plate. Hey, Derek. Hey, fans out there, we got a guy named Derek, real knowledgeable. He's like the hood GM for the Bengals.
Uh huh.
He do a good job. I gotta give him his flyers, calling certain things, and sometimes I pick his head on what's next
Mm-hmm.
for the Bengals. Is it rumored that I might butcher his last name? Rising. Is he in the city?
That I
Is he
don't
in
know,
this?
but you talk.
Your camera went off.
Oh, it's Kevin. You said right. You said. Oh, you
They
said
said he
Rising.
in. They said he in the city. That's the rumor. Dude from Minnesota keeps saying he want to come to Cincinnati. They saying he in the city. That's why they went and got the left. Fairchild is to take Volson spot.
Wilson spot. Okay, yeah.
The right
Okay.
side with Kappa gone. That's position rising or risen play. I'm not saying it's true, fans. I hope it's true.
If it is,
And that's the word. That's the reason he's been making these quote unquote videos about where he want to be at. And he keeps saying Cincinnati at the top of the list. Even Simmons or Simon, whatever his name is, play for Atlanta. He's saying it too. And we ain't getting no safety. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, listen. Just let you know.
Right.
We ain't getting. Was it a play made? Look, after the draft, I don't know. We didn't get the safety. We got something in play.
We got something in play.
I don't know. I could be wrong, but this is the rumors that I'm hearing. Risen is here.
Which makes sense because they probably wanted to wait, like you said. I think earlier, I think we talked about this. Them wait until, and I think Derek said this too. Them wait until after the draft. You know what I mean? Because we remember it was a lot of questions before that. Because both of these guys say, "Hey, I would love to, Bengals. That would be a fine spot for me." So, but now DC, I know I don't have to cut you off. I know Derek was asking you. So, what do you know anything? Because I know you're ground to the ear in those downtown streets, man.
So it's a lot of rumors going on. They penciling him in right now, like as the right guard.
Who?
You talking about Rising, right?
See,
they
my
penciling him in as the right guard.
I can't be doing this with you, Derek. Not today, man.
They
I can't.
penciling him in
Today is
as
the
right
day.
guard.
It ain't even Sunday.
Hey,
Derek, stop.
G, and I appreciate you acknowledging that. Shout out to Rich Paul, brother. I appreciate you, Rich Clutch Sports.
See, I'm giving him. See, I'm giving him his flyer. You see, look, I gave him his flyer. He take one to get a Rich Paul. See what I'm saying? He take one to get a Rich. See, see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? That's what we doing. I'm talking about you though. Stop taking
when you
flyers
mention
and
me,
passing them
say
off.
513 marketing. Then that's what you got to say.
Man, just get the flyers and put them in a vase. That's all I tell you to do. You want to take them and take one out and give it to Rich? We're in 513. Rich somewhere in California.
I got his number on speed dial. We might have to bring him on the show.
All right, yeah. Tell Rich, hey, come on, because we got a lot of questions.
If you bring Rich, I'm bringing Stephen A.
No, why we got to bring Stephen A? Bring Grant Clark. Bring Grant Clark.
Yeah, and get your popcorn ready like Mace, and say,
Only time I eat popcorn is at the movies, and we ain't shooting one.
I'm gonna make one on here.
So like I said, we gonna I think like I said, I think we both gave it, Bengals. I think we had a good draft this year, not bad. I'm not mad at it. I think a lot of people are gonna look back and be like, man, we did a good job this first year. So kind of the transition in. I know we talked about football, NFL there a lot because that was due time. Now we're gonna kind of throw a curveball here, man. We gotta talk about this guy, man. This guy Shannon Sharpe, man.
Man, I got to.
I mean, because again, like I said, this podcast we're not just about sports. We're dealing with entertainment, community, etc. So, we all know what's going on with Shannon right now. Lawsuit, civil lawsuit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to get too. I think the whole world fans. I know y'all know what's going on as well. I mean, it's being posted everywhere. OnlyFans model, 19-year-old girl, Caucasian lady. If that's your preference, that's fine too. That's not a big deal. $50 million. We heard that he offered $10 million, which his lawyer, which is crazy to that you even
offer that. Yeah.
That you even offered that. If it's not true. We know we of course this happens a week later, after we heard about $100 million deal that he was supposed to be signing, I don't know if it was ESPN or the
ESPN.
podcast.
Yeah, with ESPN.
ESPN. So
I mean, you know,
what do y'all? I mean, what do y'all think about the situation? I mean, I mean,
I look at him as he being human, and what he do on his time off is his time off. It's just the fact that I do think the play came after word got out that, you know, when your stuff go public about your business and your contract talk, you know, this is the time to make that claim. So one thing I noticed about Shannon, I'm a fan of Shannon, you know, for as like what he do, how he came up, and what he made of himself. You know, from being fired at CBS and you know get on there with Skip and he turned himself to a character with the Black and Miles and you know the
Coach
Henny,
James.
you know, Go James and all that. So
right, cigar, we had a
cigars
Black
and stuff
male.
like that. And he came in the hood, everybody up. And I saw the switch up in. You know, it was times where he talked to Chad crazy on that show. And I wrote on a post. What was that energy with Skip? But the same way you talk to Chad is how you didn't want to be talked to Skip. See, money can bring you and put you up in spaces and your personality can change. And to me, he got comfortable saying little things, little gestures, and it's like we saying with Sheduer how the NFL want to humble him. You know, it's different ways you can be humble. There's different ways you can be humble, and a lot of people do it with your pockets. You a big figure. You about to take off. You're doing good. You got the #1 interview in the past 50 years with Cat Williams, and what he bragged on and say, I'm still getting paid off that. And you got people taking shots at him, saying, gay, no disrespect to the LGBTQ community or not. They made rumors about him and stuff like that. And for her to come out and do this is like, is bringing him down and letting him know, like, bro, that money ain't changing who you are for real. This is who you are, and
Who you are.
you got to deal with it. He just got to deal with it, and I wish him the best. I wish nothing on nobody like this. And not to bring him up, God rest his soul. One of my favorite NBA players went through something like this. Bing, the accuser. You know what I'm saying? So I hope Shannon get over it and be innocent in this situation. But it's tough, and you a target when them dollars come. You a target.
What you think, DT? What's going on?
It's embarrassing. Shannon Sharpe is 60 years old. What do you want with a 19-year-old? How
That's a
can y'all
fact.
relate at all? But I also know this, and I told G this before all this stuff even came, is to destroy the black man. That same lawyer is the lawyer that's going out to P. Diddy,
Fact.
Jay-Z, Deshaun Watson.
Facts.
But
Fact.
these brothers got to stop putting themselves in these positions.
Situation. That's right.
Shannon Sharpe, you 60 years old. I'm 40. What do I want with a 19-year-old? I don't
That's
want nothing from her. And the thing about it, you can have a lot of money, all that. That means nothing because at the end of the day, it's one person you can't pay with money, and that's God.
That's
a
right.
fact.
You can't pay him with money. But to me, Shannon Sharpe, he know better. You 60 years old, so you've been around times. You know you don't go mess with a white woman, giving her the opportunity. And not only that, okay, I don't care if the video's edited and the stuff was consensual because she commenting back. She's talking. I want you to do this. So I'm not doing nothing. So I can't get you with nothing on the legal side, but I can try to get you on the civil side. She
Right.
Fact.
wants money. What she said, put this big back baby in me and all this and that. She want to get pregnant by you. If you don't know that's a money grab, all that's right there. Like you
Right.
got to stop it, man. That's all about money. It's got to stop. And these guys that go to the NBA and these professional athletes that grew up in neighborhoods like me, that goes out and run and get a white woman, come on. I don't care who you get because it's to each his own.
Right.
But you growing up into this,
Guess what? If that white woman was rich, you think she coming for Shannon Sharpe?
That's a
Or pick,
fact.
no, she's not coming for you.
She
The
not.
white girls that go to these black guys, most of the time that they go get, some of them come from nothing. You
Mm-hmm.
going to get a white girl that ain't had her family ain't got nothing. She got okay. She look half decent. Okay, now you done put some money into her. You done sent her to see Doctor Miami, or you done sent her to the gym to work out with G and Mike Kia. You know, so you invested in her. You know, so I can understand the
Right.
investment. You done
That's
invested in
Mm-hmm.
her. You done built her. You know, you done made her into what you want to be. But why pour that money into something that's gonna bring you trouble down the line? My
Right.
grandma told me this.
oh
She
my
said,
Let's tell her. Tell her. What's
"Buster."
Graham say? What Graham say?
My grandma always told me, Buster, never try to understand a woman. You'll never be able to. And that's one lesson that I regret that I didn't take from my grandma. Because right now, some of
That's
the
a
stuff that
bar.
I encounter just in this little short 40 years here on earth is beyond me. And some even, Fred coming to the gym, some of the stuff, even just in that gym, some of the people that we associate with in there
Right.
drives me crazy.
Mm.
But I keep coming back to hear the nonsense. It's like I don't know. Like but this Shannon Sharpe guy, he ought to be ashamed of himself. That's like me saying I'm in the gym and I see a 19-year-old kid in there, like, oh my God,
oh my
Right.
what can
Right.
she do for me? Her
Right.
mind's not gonna be here with me. We can't have a conversation. We on two different levels. Shannon, you're 60, she's 19. You could be her granddaddy.
that's
Mm-hmm.
true.
That's
You know
But
true.
what's crazy? What if that audio video he leaked, remember earlier in the year that he's supposed to have been having?
with the girl, no,
Yeah, with the Michelle
What if
girl.
that was
that
her?
was the
Right.
Michelle girl.
No, I'm just saying, what if it was her?
No, it wasn't her. Nah, it wasn't her. The Michelle girl, it wasn't her.
You know what though? But my thing is this though. Like going back to both of y'all, like you said, 60-year-old man with a 19-year-old, we had nothing in common. But the problem is nowadays, even the older guys, right? We don't have a moral compass anymore, right? People are not morally stable. The foundation is not there. You get what I'm saying? Because regardless of where I'm at, we have to have some type of control, right? You know what I mean?
Well,
Like
Fred, you say
it's a
that.
bunch of stuff that's at you, Shannon. And then for you
It's
always
what he
tell stories,
attracts, Fred.
but you always tell
No,
stories
it's
about
not
where
what
you.
what he attracts. It's what he wants.
But
He,
it's what he
he
That's what I'm
want.
saying. What he attracts is what he wants.
What he want. But that's the thing though
he's
too.
not attracting it.
But this the thing though. Where you and Sterling is from, that's what shocked me the most.
Savannah.
You know what I mean? For you to be, you get what I'm saying? That's why it's a fantasy to him, because where he from, you know,
You
you
get
would have
caught one of them, yeah, you getting
you
linked.
get caught with one of them. It's a problem, especially
Yeah,
when he was coming up.
that's what I'm
So
saying. He been
so
around.
and what I'm saying is this: at the end of the day, look, the text messages she was sending, the case should have been dropped right there. I mean, I don't even want to
Gorilla.
get some of the stuff so explicit. You're not even just explicit. It's just because if that's what you like, that's what you like. But I just remember once she said, "We're 25,000 each butt cheek." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know this was consensual. It's blatant that when you're going with Busby, who is already under
Extortion.
fire, Jay-Z is trying to get this man license taken right now. You hear me? Like you try to embarrass one of the big. Jay-Z said, "Oh hell no." It was a difference with Jay-Z because I got the resources. Guess
Yeah.
what I'm about to do? I'm finna go ahead and take your head off the same way you're doing me. You know what I mean? I had to go to a movie premiere with my baby girl a day after this stuff hit the internet. You could tell. Even when I was looking at the pictures with him and Beyonce and them, I could tell.
The friction
How
was
you can
there.
tell when your
Yeah.
brother. You can tell when your guy's bothered. You know what I mean? I'm looking at
Yeah.
Hov. I could tell he was uneasy because he never's been in this space before. And then you try to tie me into something with somebody that's already, Diddy is plenty of evidence against this guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like I remember when the teacher used to talk about. There's always the second one. It ain't the first one. Derek could have smacked me. I smacked Derek.
Yeah, you
It's
get
me
caught.
getting in
Yeah.
trouble. It ain't Derek. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
always the second one. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
for you to pull me into this, now me and you got a problem. You know what I mean? Because
Absolutely.
they didn't catch me. You know what I mean? Don't mention me.
Right.
And I think with Shannon, you should have not only that you should have did your due diligence. You got to have self-control. But at 60, even with his podcast, your problem is that you're a hypocrite. you got too much stuff on camera saying date your ways, date your age. And then we catch you in this situation.
But no, even he's not going to do that. Monique tried to talk to him. You go pull up with Monique telling him he need to get some of his age. He said, "No, I don't want not my age." But this is another thing too. But even as you a Shannon Sharpe, you a Hall of Famer. You been around. You getting all this money. Why don't you have him sign an NDA?
Exactly.
It's got to
I
be an
don't get that.
That's what people feel power. That's what money give him power, and he feel like
he could do it.
You know that girl was recording that conversation.
She
Choke your.
signed an
It's a
NDA.
power thing.
Mandatory.
You can't do this to me. It can't happen to me. But when it happened to you, you know, you get suspended. Now
Well, he stepped away now because his job is on the line.
it's called stepping away because they doing evaluation. Stephen A. Smith said he's being evaluated. This is the second indication. The first one was that one leak they supposed to have sex. He got suspended for a week. Now this. Think about what been taking place ever since you came with Stephen A. Smith.
That's that role.
That's what I'm saying. So
and we
now
talk about contract, like you said, that we talking about contract now. So with ESPN, we got the leverage now. You know what I mean? Because at first with the $100 million, we could go ahead and do that. You know, Nightcap is doing fine. Y'all just added Joe Johnson on there, Chad Johnson. You still doing that?
That's where he's gonna have to go on.
He gonna have to. Because the thing is with this situation, right, is that Shannon want to be main. You know, we have a platform now, right, where we can get on YouTube like we're doing now, right? We can create a podcast, we can get it going. But you guys are, you know, you're a Hall of Famer, right? You're already 10 steps ahead of us. You got the resources, you got the friends. You know, if they get it popping, I'm pretty sure it's going to end up blowing up after a while. You bring in Chad Johnson. You brought in J.R. Smith for a little bit. You brought in Joe Johnson. You know, Shannon had these resources before. He's been talking real. You know, he's so-called talking real. But I do see the difference between when he was with Skip Bayless and how he was conversating with Chad, because when they went, see, the problem is, Skip hitting where it hurt. You ain't Tom Brady. Shannon, that day when he said that to me, he talking about you like, come on, you know, Skip, I'm a Hall of Famer. How dare you talk to me like this? He thought Skip was gone. I mean, you know what I mean? He thought Skip was out of order, which he was, but Skip don't care about you. Basically, what I'm saying is you can't like somebody more than they like you. You know what I mean? He liked the 19-year-old more than he liked her. You see what I'm saying? He respected Skip more than Skip respected him.
Because it was role reverses, Fred. Chad, he was Chad.
Yep, exactly.
You're Chad. Now you Skip. You Shannon Bayless. That's Chad Sharpe. So now role reverse, you gonna talk to me like you ain't wanting to be talked to with Skip though.
Right.
See, that's the stuff that goes on when you give them power. You know, the people watch when people get that. They see the switch up, they see the change, they see if your voice get louder. You stick your chest out a little more, you're bragging a little more. You can still have it and be you. What changed you? Was the tax bracket? I mean, come on, man. We see it. You know, like, to go back to watch the show, because I'm a fan of the show. Funny. I love the stories. But in your stories, you tell stories about women. You think they'll use that on them cases?
Yep.
Oh, Chad, I'm only going to be in there, in and out. Or I had this one girl that Chad be getting out the chair, falling. Yeah.
Yep.
Same here, y'all. With Derrickson.
Okay, bet. So let's just go through here real quick, because that's fine with me, because we actually those are the topics I wanted to hit.
Yes, sir.
So we're just gonna do a little something real quick. So NBA playoffs. We saw Jimmy Butler get hurt the other day. Basically, I want to see this what I want to do, because we're gonna come back to this.
Yes,
we got the Western Conference Finals, Eastern Conference Finals. I just want to know the two teams you got in the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals. That's pretty much it. We'll go on to
I got the Clippers and the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals.
Okay, Clippers,
I got
Warriors.
The Boston Celtics and the Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference.
Eastern Conference Final. All right, DT, what about you?
I agree with him on the East, but I'm rolling with the guy from LA over there, the Lakers versus
I probably OKC,
Okay.
and I got Lakers in Boston, like in the finals. That man again, he's getting a ring.
Got Brian going to ring. Okay. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go with um I want to see the Lakers and the Clippers.
Okay.
I want to see the Lakers and Clippers Western Final. I would love to see Kawhi, Bron. You know, that would be Luka and Jay, like that right there.
I ain't even think of that.
I'm liking both LA teams. I'm liking Lakers versus Clippers, Western Conference Finals. I'm going Boston and Cleveland. I'm going Boston and Cleveland, Eastern Conference Finals. I think Cleveland is. I watched that game during the regular season. I think it's a hell of a matchup there. I think those were the two best teams by far in the Eastern. The only team I thought could have put something in there would have been Miami if Jimmy Butler would have stayed. Once Jimmy left there, you know what I mean. I don't see East wide because Orlando needed some more pieces. We see that. You know, they won by 2 last night, but they need some more shooting down there. So it's I don't believe in the Knicks at all. The Knicks having a hard time with Detroit. They're gonna have a hell of a time with Boston or Cleveland. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Boston and Cleveland might have swept the Knicks during the regular season. You know what I mean? I think either one. So I'm gonna go with that. So I'm gonna write them down and remember that just so we can see how that playing out. That'll give us more to talk about down the line. That one issue I did want to talk to you guys about, and just let me know something quick. Talking to G earlier, Jeremy Lamb. I don't know if you've seen it, DT. Jeremy Lamb, basketball player that played
Kentucky guy.
played at Connecticut. Remember, he played at Connecticut with Kemba Walker and them. Played in the league, for a while. A veteran out the NBA. Got on. He went on through the race podcast with Theo Pinson. He said
Kevin Martin.
that Kevin Martin didn't want to score a certain amount of points because he didn't want to be an all-star. Basically, he said he wanted to have time to himself. It made a big uproar. I think KD said something back to it.
You don't want to score enough points. You don't want to be an all-star.
Exactly. This is what he said. He said that Kevin Martin would look at his points at halftime or when he came out. He said, "All right, I want to stay at the 15," because he felt like if he was going to score more points. Basically, he didn't like being around a team. He liked, when it was that week off, he wanted to have that week off with his family and stuff like that instead of being in the all-star.
Yeah. So he was having problems at home, probably.
Exactly. And it kind of looked like shaving points. You know what I mean? Some people took it as like, damn, was he, you know what I mean? Like, what was he on? But, but what I was saying with that was that, what do y'all think about old NBA players or, coming back on these podcasts?
You shouldn't come out with that. That shouldn't be. You shouldn't
certain stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even when Charles talking about
I think that's cool. I like it.
No, I can see if you're doing like Vernon Maxwell do, like where he said, "Oh, this person, talk about fights." Don't expose me talking about I'm point shaving or point shaving. Like, and I'm doing this so I want to spend time with my family. Like I said, I feel it's personal. The guy has some problems at home.
He said he could have went to the All-Star game numerous of times, but he didn't because he wanted to spend time. It was a testament to how good he is. I get what you're saying. It's a little drastic.
Personal though. You don't leash out something I'm telling you.
Right.
But it still is like those stories that I be wanting to hear. Because I rather hear from players than sources.
It was a viral clip. You know what I mean? Like, listen, for Theo Pinson, that was huge, right? Because it's like, hey, this finna do like $1 million by itself on the short. But the problem is, this is my thing. When I go back on YouTube and I look at stories about Larry Bird, stories about Michael Jordan, most of the time it's on the court stories, right? Even with our guy, who just brought up Vernon Maxwell. Those stories was about him. When he said Elijah Wan smacked him, you know what I mean? Like, they were funny, and we know that Maxwell was being 100% true because we man, you know what I mean? Like, we like, man, Vernon Maxwell is just the real one. That's why they end up. He's actually on the show now with the All About the Smoke, with the Smoke. Which is great. I think that was a great addition. I think he's funny, but he's just a real dude. He talked about doing coke. He talked about making money in Florida. You know what I mean? He talked about the things that happened with him. You know what I mean? And how he said the only night he slept was when they played Mike. Remember, he said I ain't sleep no other night other than when I had to go play that guy.
Let's not mention that right now.
Man,
y'all funny, man.
Hey, my phone.
Oh no, I wasn't saying that, G.
You good? But that's what I want to do too.
Y'all see the chat? Look at my chat.
Oh, it popped up there.
Oh yeah.
Hold on. Damn, where you said the chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we might have lost him.
Oh, we
Yeah,
lost G?
I think we might have lost him.
Okay. So this is what I'm gonna do, DT. This the last thing I want to do before we go, because we did a lot on here. And this a good first episode because we only gonna get better. But this the last thing I want to do. Every month we're gonna do it. Making the right play MVP of the month. We're gonna give it to Orlando Gentry. Congratulations, Lando, getting that North College Hill job, man. You like a little brother to me. I love you to death, dog. I think you've been a staple in the community for some years since a youngin. Not only have you been willing to learn from other people, but you've been willing to stand your own ground. People respect you because you being your own man. I know me and DT talk about you all the time. We only have great things to say about you. And we just want to say, congratulations at Aiken. Congratulations on the new job. We're going to be interviewing you soon. So I thought this would be a great transition to, we'll be up there to North College Hill, man. But I just wanted to show you some love, man. And just say, thank you for what you're doing for the kids, man. Thank you for, giving them a positive outlet. And just continue to be there for people. Because one thing I can say about you, you are yourself 100% of the time. And that's rare. It's rare to be just that same person all the time, even with the accolades that you're getting. And I'm just gonna let Derek say a few things about, because we got a lot of love for you, a lot of respect. So,
Hey, definitely. Hey, Lando, this job wasn't given to you. You earned it. So congratulations on the job. Like Fred said, you've been the same person since you was back then. When you came down, you're doing your little dances with you and little Mike. Y'all was dancing and all that. So, but Lando, what you doing for these young men? You're not just changing lives. Like, man, you really changing generations. Like, because
right,
you've been doing this since he was coaching those little kids at the ball stars. So
right,
these kids are coming up now. So, and like you said, he willing to take and learn from anyone. Like he came up at Hughes. He's with the guy Wyatt, who I don't like for personal reasons, but Lando is a guy that takes. He can take it. He went up there to Aiken. He won an assistant coach of the year.
mm-hmm.
Lando's a star recruiter. He's good at connecting with these kids. He's
Yep,
just giving these kids exposure. The things that you got to do to get these kids out here, Lando's for it. Even
yep,
when he took a couple of our kids from downtown, I was hurt. But hey, he was looking to put them in better situations and give them an opportunity to do things that they haven't done before. So I
that's right.
salute Lando. Congratulations on your job. We here to uplift you. We here to support you. We ain't gonna let nobody bring you down. You earned this
Right,
position, and we here with you, Lando.
that's
You got
right,
the
that's
city
right.
behind you. You got all these young men behind you that want to come play for you. Just embrace all the love, man, and just take it and strive, man. Take it and
Yep.
go.
Hey Lando, again, man, we just want to give you some love, man. You are making the right play MVP of the month, man. This is the first episode, but we're gonna do somebody every month. Somebody that's in the community in the Queen City that's doing, that's touching the community, that's not just helping out the kids, but helping out others. Again, we want to talk about give awareness to people being selfless, using their resources to big up other people. In this time and day, it's rare to have other people that want to see other people do well. And so when we do run into those type of people, we want to just give them a platform. And we're gonna do an interview too. Like I said, we're gonna get these special guests on here because there's a lot of people that are doing a lot. And again, there's not a lot of platforms that's showing that type of love. So Lando, just congratulations for you being that MVP for us, man. We want you to keep on going. I remember having to take you to school, but I remember you being with me the whole time, man. And you always was positive with me and positive to me, always speaking goodness to me, man. And same way I did for you, man. And we came a long way. You're a great dad, man. You doing your thing, brother. So we gonna catch you soon. We gonna come up there. We gonna get it. We gonna get the interview done at North College Hill, man. It's gonna be a good one, man. So we look forward to it, bro. And Derek, you got any last words, man, before we go? I know G had to probably phone out or something, but we that's fine.
Hey, nothing really. I just want to say, just to remember, with Christ, all things are possible. Apart from Him, you can do nothing. So just stay
That's right.
connected to Him, man. That's pretty much it for me.
That's it. All right. Well, my last words is thank you guys for tuning in, making the right play podcast. This is the first episode. So again, guys, we want you guys to like and subscribe to all our DSPs. We're on pretty much everything, every site. We're gonna get this out to you here like maybe Sunday or Monday. this is being recorded. So we just want to say we just appreciate your patience. Anybody have any type of dialogue, anything, any support we need. So we just want to say it's much love. Cincinnati, we love y'all, and we're just gonna keep on. We're gonna keep on going, and we'll see you guys soon.
Absolutely.
All right, bro. All right, TC. See you later, man.
Yes, sir.
All right.